It's the moment you didn't know you're waiting for.
He is Carter.
He's Chad.
And this is the Irish 365 podcast.
Chad, this is Lou Holtz. That's head coach of Notre Dame for 11 years. Greatest experience of my life. They're starting a Notre Dame podcast this summer. I have a podcast as well, but it's not about Notre Dame football, although I wish there were. But congratulations on your success. And it would be nice if I could be on your podcast, but my schedule is so hectic. But anything that has to do with Notre Dame, I'm all for it. God bless you. Go Irish.
Welcome into this special edition of the Irish 65 podcast. We've got episode 32 for you today.
College football playoff.
All that time we've been talking about it.
Yes, it's here.
It's game week.
It is. It's I cannot believe next Friday Notre Dame is going to be playing.
Not next Friday.
Or Friday.
This Friday.
This Friday.
This Friday night.
Friday night, Notre Dame's going to be playing.
Notre Dame Stadium.
In Notre Dame Stadium.
Yep.
A college football playoff game.
Yeah. Crazy just to think we've been doing this podcast, like I said, our 32nd episode. We've been doing this podcast back since August, end of July, beginning of August. I mean, we've been talking about it for a long time, but then think about just me and you talking about this college football playoff for 2, 3, 4 years, like the potential of it coming to reality, it became a few years away. Like, man, how awesome will it be like for Notre Dame to have a home college football playoff game? And now we're like, just one of those things you've anticipated for so long, and then like the first year we've got one, and we're the first game Friday night. I mean, it's just awesome to be here.
It is reality. It's here.
Yeah.
I'm super stoked for it. So
just for you people that don't know, we do have tickets.
We do.
We are going to the game.
Yes, we are.
And I can't tell you, this has been an incredible season for us. Like, for you those that haven't been following us all the year, we've been going to all these games. And we were excited to go out to Texas A&M at the beginning of the year. We were excited to go to New York, to Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
We were pumped. We've talked about going to USC forever.
Yeah, I literally, before you were born, I was wanting to go to USC.
I can't remember a time where I've been, this excited for a game.
Yeah, and never made it out to USC. Yeah. Always had excuses. It was holidays, hosting, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I am stoked we finally made it out to USC for that game. But yeah, this is as big as any of it, maybe bigger than all of it. I mean, this is literally history, and I think that's kind of the cool thing about it is Friday night Notre Dame's hosting IU, and it is the first time that a college football playoff game is being played on a college campus.
Yep.
And there's some things I've heard about it. I don't know what's true, what's not. There's, maybe some neutral site stuff I'm hearing. IU is going to get to run out to their song. Then they're going to have a hype video. And there's kind of diminishes it a little bit.
And CFP runs the video board and the music and the ads during the game, on the video board, which is just like, what?
Yeah. So, it's not, it'll be interesting because it's not, if it's true.
Yeah.
It's not going to have that Notre Dame home game feel.
Yeah.
And it's not going to have that Notre Dame, no one's going to be telling the crowd to get loud, pump up the noise, third down, so it takes away a little bit of that home field advantage.
Oh, 100%. But, it's so IU gets into video, so I'm like, okay, so I was thinking about this in my head. If you've been to a Notre Dame game, Notre Dame's got, a pretty long intro, altogether,
Yeah.
The band's playing before the game, the band lines up, and then you kind of go into
the locker room
prayer, and then I haven't been doing the boys are back this year, but traditionally, in the past, it's been that.
But there's some sort of video.
Yep, some video
that gives the team a chance to come from the prayer out of the tunnel and into the tunnel.
Yep, and then the team runs out of the tunnel, and then I'd almost say it all the way, and then you get to the coin toss, but then you got and there's a magic, the sound of her name, all the way up to kickoff. So I'm like, we better be getting all that, right?
I'm curious.
Yeah, because that's all just pregame historic stuff. That's the pregame stuff. I'm not saying it's gonna take away from the because the atmosphere is gonna be the crowd. The crowd's gonna be loud. I guarantee that. But it's you can't take away from the tradition of you can't say, oh, we got to go to these home stadiums to increase the crowd atmosphere and then take away all that good stuff. You know what I mean? All the tradition.
It'll be interesting to see how it's played and how it's played out.
Yeah.
I'm going to be disappointed if there's not a lot of home field advantage given to it.
Yeah.
But, we were going to talk about it a little bit later, but we just get into the ticket pricing thing.
Yeah.
And, the whole tickets and ticket prices were set by the CFP.
Yeah.
Right? That's the whole thing.
The amount of tickets, the price of the tickets, everything.
Like how many goes to the visiting fans, like what the prices are, like how many student section tickets are like CFP is running the show, and Notre Dame's getting like a $15 fee, I think I read, per ticket.
Yep.
As an admin fee, but like all that money goes to CFP, and that goes back to paying off the teams.
Yep.
It's the reason I've been on this theory, if you've been paying attention to this podcast for a month and a half now, that like they're going to make sure the big stadiums host games.
Yep.
And it's amazing. Notre Dame, Penn
Smallest.
State, Ohio State.
Yeah.
Like big stadiums.
Notre Dame's the smallest with 79,000 or whatever.
Yeah, 80,000 were the small stadium.
Yeah.
All these 100,000 people stadiums hosting games. It's like, maybe I'm wrong. It's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
And I've heard some people talk about the theory that like IU's coming to town and this and that and the other. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it's done. It's going to be history. And because it's history, like I know a lot of people want to be there. And I mean, we had to be there. It's like, even if we didn't do this journey this season with the family, which has been making, like, I think, awesome memories that we're going to be talking about 25, 30 years from now.
Yeah.
You're going to want to be there. And I think I told you this is like that Florida State 93 game I went to. I've met 500,000 people that claimed they were at Notre Dame Stadium that day and only seated 55,000 at the time.
2012 Stanford, very similar.
Oh, yeah.
Just for my lifetime. Like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was
Stanford there.
Yep.
I was on TV.
I was saying, we've got proof we were there, right? Camera caught us.
Camera caught us.
Matthias Farley's interception in the third quarter, I think it was.
Yeah.
So, I can see myself, so I got proof.
So this is one of those things where I think a lot of people are going to want to be there. And that kind of brings us up to, this low-budget podcast is getting a little more legitimate all the time.
Yep.
We had our first scammer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about this later, but I think it kind of segues now.
Yep.
If you see someone advertising tickets for sale
on Facebook,
Facebook, if you're on SeatGeek, StubHub, Game Time, like legitimate sites,
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, don't be worried. And I know like the prices are around 500. They were 1,000.
It's getting 500.
Yeah, it was 1,000, and now they're down to like 500 to get in.
Yep.
And you have to understand the way it works. I mean, that's with fees. So if you see a ticket advertised at $350, $400, then you look at the fees, and all of a sudden it's $100, $120 in fees.
Yeah.
Those companies make money, and they make it hand over fist. That's why people hate Taylor Swift. And if you remember a few years ago, the whole Taylor Swift debacle and Ticketmaster. So I guess I'll give you some of the Iris 365 advice on buying tickets, especially if you're buying them through Facebook or some other source. I mean, I seen somebody advertising them on Twitter, which is the first time I ever saw that. Someone advertising tickets on Twitter. But
it's on Twitter. It's got to be real.
Yeah. So first things first, if the price is crazy good, be a little suspicious.
Yeah.
Like, just be a little suspicious. Number two, like, look at this, like, get verification they've got tickets. And if they're not verifying, if you ever had Notre Dame tickets before, you'll know what they look like if they're from the Notre Dame website.
Yeah.
If they're showing you like Ticketmaster or, My Ticket Verified or some other source.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't get them from the university. If they have the tickets, if they're showing you Ticketmaster, then they didn't get it from university. They either bought them to sell them, or they're faking you out.
Yeah.
They're trying to scam you. So there's a couple things you do there. Look at, like, if you're in a Notre Dame buy and sell ticket group of some kind. I think there's 2 or 3 of them out there.
Yeah.
If you're in one of those, and look at this person's profile.
It's their first time posting in the group.
First time they posted, they just joined the group that day.
Yeah.
Those are red flags.
Yeah.
They're from Montreal or, someplace, or they don't have any profile pictures.
Yeah.
Like, there's things you can do to, like, sniff it out pretty quick.
Yeah.
If they're really good and they've got all these things in place, the most telltale sign you can do is call them.
Yeah.
Like, if they put a post and they, like, don't let people put comments on it.
Yeah.
Or I've seen this one a lot, people posting and saying, "Oh, text me," and they have a number and then they don't allow comments. Well, you can have a number for anywhere. You can go on Google or whatever site, and you can get a number that you can text to and from that has nothing to do with any phone. So you can be in West Africa or the Middle East or wherever, internet cafe scammer wants to sit.
Yep.
But call them. Like, if they're legitimate and they're trying to sell tickets, they'll take a phone call from you.
Yeah, especially to make what some of these people are making.
Yeah, I mean, again, even if they're a ticket broker who buys and sells tickets, they're scalping tickets for profit. They'll gladly take a phone call from you if they've bought the tickets for $150 and they're going to sell them for $500, $600, $700, $800,000.
Yeah.
They'll take your phone call. Say, hey, give me a call so we can work out the details.
Yep.
And Apple Pay or Venmo or PayPal or Cash App or whatever they do. If they will not take a call from you, get real suspicious real fast. My advice is walk away at that point.
Yeah.
Or they'll take a call, and I did this earlier because we had a scammer.
Yep.
I tried calling them. They wouldn't take the call. And then I kind of played around with it earlier today because I was just like, okay, let me look. So I finally got this girl, this supposed girl who had posted on a Notre Dame buy and sell tickets, and she was willing to sell tickets for $150 a piece. I'm like, there is no way anybody's selling these tickets for $150. And of course, the thing they'll do is they'll try and give you this story. And again, if they've got tickets for sale and they're giving you a story, like
I bought them and I didn't know my husband bought them too. I think was the one that we saw.
Yeah, or I bought tickets and now me and my bestie have something happen and I can't go. Like the more of a backstory they give you, the less likely they are to be legitimate.
Yeah.
If I've got 2 tickets for sale and I know people want them, I'm going to post them for X amount of dollars. Yep. I don't have to put a story to it, but the story's there to convince people.
Yep.
But so anyway, I finally got this girl said, I can't take a call. Because I'm like, oh, call me. We need to work out the cash payment details. I had no intention of buying the tickets. I didn't want them, didn't need them. So finally she said, well, I can't talk. My husband doesn't like it. I said, well, then I can talk to your husband. He doesn't want to talk to his wife. So the guy answered the phone, or when I called finally.
Yep.
And funny thing was, this girl looked like she was a straight Midwestern white girl.
Yep.
And her profile picture, her and her husband and kids, all Midwestern white people from the great state of Ohio.
Yep.
According to the profile picture. He had a really strange accent.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to say which part of the Middle East he's from.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing he was from an internet cafe somewhere in Pakistan or India. He was clearly a scammer.
Yeah.
And it was just funny because it was like just from his accent alone, I knew pretty quickly that this was not the guy in the photo.
Yeah.
Clearly trying to get me to sell tickets. And I played a little fun with him. I was bored this afternoon and it was rainy, couldn't do as much work outside as I wanted. And I'm like, hey, what if I paid you for 1 ticket and you sent it to me and then I have my buddies call you and, oh, yeah, that's fine. Oh, no, Ticketmaster won't let me split the tickets. I have to send all 4 at once. You have to pay for all 4. It was just fun. So anyway, my advice when it's all said and done, do everything you can, be due diligent. If the deal sounds too good to be true, but call them. Have a phone call with them.
Yep.
Try and have that phone call, whether it's their cell phone through, direct messaging. So, have a phone call. Video's even better because scammers won't take those calls. They can't hide. They can't fake the profile picture person in real life yet.
Yeah.
AR maybe get there, or, virtual reality maybe get there in 5-6 years they can fake it, but right now they can't hide from it. So that's my advice. Don't get scammed. Be cautious. There are plenty of reputable places. If you really want to go, hit SeatGeek. I think SeatGeek's now under 500, or at least
it's bouncing back and forth between 490 and 530-ish. So
and there's roughly 1,000 tickets listed on SeatGeek right now.
Yeah,
and originally when they were up $1,000 a piece, the seats listed were around 300. Yeah. So I think it's going to be interesting. How many IU fans are going to make this trip? Because we talked about this. IU was given 3,500 tickets.
Yep.
That had to take care of the players' families, the family, the band, coaches' families, administration, then whatever big donors, season ticket holders they had. I'm curious how many IU fans are going to make the trip because it's 3 hours from Bloomington.
If all 1,000 of those tickets get sold on SeatGeek to IU fans, let's just say they're all
4,000.
If they're all 4 tickets, 4,000 plus their
3,500.
That's
7,000.
Not even 10% of the stadium.
Yeah, it's close to it though.
No, I'm just saying 9%.
It'll be very Christmassy. There'll be a lot of red and green in this space.
Yeah, I'm just saying that. But that one at 10% wouldn't seem like a takeover. I don't think.
No, not a takeover.
So and that's if every single ticket on SeatGeek was given to us.
But how many have already been posted and sold?
Oh yeah, I'm just saying. Theoretically.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say.
So all right. We got a battle though this Friday.
We do.
And it's going to be, like we said, 8 o'clock. And this is, I talked about it a little bit on the last show. This game's not on NBC. It's going to be hard for Notre Dame fans to get used to. A home game, not on NBC. It is on ESPN, 8 o'clock.
On the ESPN.
Yeah, so let's get into the keys of the game, I guess.
You want to go that far right now?
Let's go. Let's get in the.
Well, let's hold off. We want to talk about a contest.
Okay, we do have a contest.
We do have the contest.
It was posted on our Instagram story, I believe, but I'm going to post it under this video on Spotify and YouTube. We've got an ESPN college football playoff predicting group. If you've done like the March Madness and all that stuff, it's very similar to trying to do. It'll be interesting to see how this one goes, just from the point standpoint. I really don't know all that works, but it'll be a good time. You predict.
It's fall football frenzy.
It's the fall football frenzy.
Hashtag that.
Yeah, you get to pick the winners. You get to pick all that stuff. And yeah, we've been trying to get rid of the Sam Hartman jersey, so we're going to give it to someone at the end of this contest.
This is it. Highest score who's not a member of the podcast.
Yep,
so
wins this jersey.
There are 6 people that cannot win this jersey.
Yep.
It is Caden, Maddie, Christy, Jordan, you, and me.
Yep.
We're going to be in the contest, but we can't win it.
And we're going to have bragging rights on you.
We'll have bragging rights because that's good enough. I don't need a gift when I win.
Yep.
I like a gift when I win.
Yep.
But if I can brag to the 5 people on this podcast that I share time with, that's good enough.
Yep.
That's good enough for me. So, yeah, let's put a link on the Facebook page as well.
Yep, I'll get a link out there for everyone. I'll post it a couple times this week. Get people on there.
Yeah.
Let's do it, peeps.
Yeah,
let's have a good time.
Let's see if someone can win the Sam Hartman. Someone's going to win the
someone's going to win it. It's going to be yours.
Let's see who wins the Sam Hartman jersey.
Yep, make it be yours. It'll be a nice gift for you in January.
Fortunately, it won't be in time for Christmas.
No.
But Valentine's Day.
If you get yourself a gift for Christmas, a free gift.
Yeah, that's right. We're paying the postage.
Yep.
I mean, Sam signed it. From Sam to you.
Yep. From Sam to us to you.
Via whatever shipping method's most effective.
Yep, exactly. It's going to be great.
Yeah. So look forward to that. I think we're going to hit that contest side of it. So yeah, now we get into the game.
Yep.
And the game itself, I think, is going to be interesting. I was so excited when we started talking about home football in November. And then it was like it's going to happen, and it's like, okay, we got this December game coming. It could snow.
Yep.
You see the weather, high of 32.
But the real feel is around 18, 19, 20.
Yeah. And it's going to snow, like 48% chance of snow as we sit here today.
Yep.
Oh, would I have loved SMU, Alabama, somebody, Georgia, somebody who's not a cold weather team to come.
Yep.
Just like the home atmosphere may be negated, the cold weather advantage may be negated. And I kind of wonder, because I put nothing past the committee.
Yeah.
Did they intentionally make sure that IU came to South Bend so it was the least disruptive? Penn State could have came to South Bend, snow wouldn't have bothered the Penn State kids. Ohio State could have come to South Bend, it wouldn't have bothered those kids. But they needed to host stadium. They needed to host those in those stadiums because they're big. Then I think it's funny because who's going to Penn State?
SMU,
right? If they want Penn State to be in the Final Four.
Yep.
Like they just want them to be there. I don't know why. But anyway, the weather's being negated. I think the atmosphere is being negated. So I'm a little disappointed in all that.
Yeah. We'll see how it actually goes, but it seems like right now.
Yeah, so it will. Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. That's a little disappointing, but I'm still excited that history's being made in Notre Dame Stadium. It's a trivia question you're going to hear, in the future, 5-10 years from now, where was the first college football playoff played at on a campus? And Notre Dame will be the answer, and who they played will be IU. I mean, it's the battle. It's the state championship.
Yeah.
I mean, normally the high school football state championship happens the weekend after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
But here we're having the college state championship in the middle of December.
Yep.
And I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. I'm excited. This is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
And I think the other narrative out there is, Notre Dame can't win the big game.
Yeah.
I consider this not to be the big game.
No.
Like we got to win a bowl game. We got to win this game, and then we got to go down to the Sugar Bowl and we got to beat Georgia to get that monkey off our backs.
Yeah.
I know other people feel like this is a big game, but it is. It's a big game.
Very big game, but
I don't feel this. And it's one of those things. IU is going to be predicted to beat us by some people, and then they're going to turn around and give us no credit if we win. Like if we win by 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, people are going to say, "Oh, well, IU's not that good."
Yeah.
But we're going to be an upset alert coming in. And there's going to be people predicting, College game day is going to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they're not going to be unanimous for Notre Dame. Someone, if just has Desmond Howard, if nobody else, is going to pick IU.
I mean, McAfee's been on whoever's Notre Dame's playing all year, so.
Yeah. So, he likes IU.
Yeah.
He's an Indiana guy. He understands both schools.
Yeah.
He likes IU. He'll probably pick IU.
Yeah.
But, it will be very interesting to see how that goes. But win or lose, if we win, we're going to get no credit. If we lose, we're going to be like, oh, well, Notre Dame's not that good. IU's awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that's interesting, but we got to win this game. And
I mean, this statistically is a very good IU team. I mean, top 10 scoring offense, top 10 scoring defense. Now you can argue about strength of schedule and all that stuff. I mean, people are going to say the same thing about Notre Dame and Ohio. Obviously, if you talk about that best loss, IU's got the advantage on that one because they lost Ohio State, and ours is Northern Illinois, which is no problem. Like, whatever.
Yeah,
we're going to find out Friday.
Let's talk about best wins, too.
Right.
I mean, you can't have that conversation.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, people are, though.
They are.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, that's what's going to happen.
And I'm a math guy.
Yeah.
And statistics is a big thing of what I do at work.
Yeah.
And there's lies, there's damn lies, and there's statistics.
Right.
And I can make a statistic tell you any story you want.
Yeah.
Like, give me the numbers and tell me what you want the story to say. And like an accountant, I can tell you that. So you're going to be able to put the fluff and the argument out there for IU is going to win this game, Notre Dame's going to win this game. All you got to do is look at the statistics.
Yeah.
Or pick and choose your statistics.
Right, exactly.
So I think it's going to be interesting. I have a pretty strong opinion on this one.
Yep.
But
let's get into it.
Let's get into that. So keys to the game. I mean, the weather's going to be a factor.
Yeah.
If it's going to be cold and it's going to be snowing. I don't know how strong the wind's going to be. I think the wind's going to have a big impact on throwing the ball if it picks up. And if it's snowing and it's windy, it's going to take away the throwing game. And I think if that happens, that clearly is going to play in Notre Dame's favor.
Yeah. I mean, this is an IU team that's controlled the line of scrimmage in all their games except for Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah.
Like, their offensive line and defensive line have done very well against everyone, and they didn't do the whole game terrible against either school. They had moments, but then they had really bad moments. I think IU had like 60 yards in the second half against Ohio State. Like, but yeah, you can get back to your keys because I don't want to get on my point right now. So
well, I was just going to say, I mean, if you look at IU's strength is going to be the pass game.
Yep.
They're going to try and pass. And their quarterback is very good. Their receivers are above average. And I think what their quarterback is really good at doing is the back shoulder fade. Like, that's his bread and butter. So we're going to be keying on that. And I expect he's going to realize that. And they're going to try and do some slants and different things to catch corners out of position, safeties out of position. And I go back to USC, and that quarterback, like, he was putting the ball. I mean, we were covering guys really well, and he was putting the ball just phenomenal places.
Yep.
Now, I also think their quarterback has been shown, especially if you look at the tape and you watch the game, when he's rushed, he's not as accurate.
Yep.
And so, Notre Dame's defensive line is going to be back to, healthier.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to have Traore back. We're not going to have Othello back, but we're going to be healthier. And getting Howard Cross back. The other guys have done great, but having another guy in that defensive tackle rotation who can help us get pressure, that's going to be huge. So, I think if I'm IU, my goal is going to be to run the game enough.
Yeah. Because
Notre Dame, again, they've shown they'll give up chunk runs.
Yep.
Run enough that I can keep the passing lanes open. Make sure Notre Dame's playing man to man.
Yep.
And then at that point, I'm going to try and get my quarterback to win this game.
Yep.
They're going to ride and die with him winning the game on offense.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I mean,
it's strength on strength, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And then defensively.
Go
ahead.
So you talk about this, Rorik. His best throw is the back shoulder, right?
Absolutely.
So one thing that I found really interesting was, like, for those of you who don't know, I'm a teacher. So I'm with kids, K through 8 a lot. Routine is, like, big, right? You see it in classrooms, like, if the kids know what they're doing, a lot more success, right? But when you try to change something up or something, you get delayed with something, the whole day just feels like...
Yeah. You're off schedule, out of rhythm.
You're off schedule, everything. You feel off. Kids feel off everything. If Notre Dame can get this IU team where they're not on schedule...
Yeah.
And that means if we're getting pressure on Rorik, if we get up on this game 14-0, if we get a turnover... if we get this IU team to a spot where they're not in rhythm right off the bat, this is not going to be a close football game. That's what I'll tell you. I
agree.
And that's IU's thing. If they can stay on schedule, here's what I'll say. I think Notre Dame, in my opinion, it's a 60-40% chance we win this game if IU is on rhythm the entire game. I'm saying if everything goes if IU stays in rhythm and we're in rhythm, it's a 60. I think we have a 64% chance to win this game.
Yeah.
Now, if we throw them off rhythm and they're not on schedule, especially on that offensive side of the ball, they've got no chance. Because what we saw against Ohio State is they're 7-7 going into that. I think 3.5 minutes left in the first half. They their punter muffs a punt snap coming back to them.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember if Ohio State scores right before half or scores right out of the half, but makes it 21-7 basically. And then, like we said, IU has like 60 yards second half. Like they just were like, oh crap, what just happened?
Yeah.
Because Cignetti's going to give them a great scheme. He's going to have a great game plan.
Oh, they're going to be well coached.
There's no doubt about this. They're going to have a great game plan. It's can they execute their game plan, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's going to have a game plan for them to win this game. I don't doubt that. But can Notre Dame get Rurik out of the pocket, make him uncomfortable? Because when he's on the move, you said he's not throwing well.
No.
They have a guy. Their team is just full. I don't know how to say this, but like their team is just full of guys that can do their job, right? Like if they have a plan and they can do that plan, they're going to be very successful. But they don't have a guy that can go make a play when it's not what was supposed to happen, right?
Exactly.
Like when he gets pressure, when they're not running the ball as well as they want, if they're not throwing the ball as well as they want, they're going to collapse. Like it's a team that could collapse.
Oh yeah, I think that's that's big for them. And you're absolutely right. Like, and I think this is where Notre Dame has a huge advantage because we had our biggest game coming in. Probably the biggest win of Marcus Freeman's career was that A&M game.
Yeah,
he couldn't get over the hurdle. He had that knock because the Ohio State games in the past, what have you. Like everybody was saying how and we won that A&M game. And then we collapsed. Yeah. And we've basically been in do or die mode, playoff mode, forever. And I think that's interesting to kind of take a side topic here. I mean, we talk about that NIU loss, and I'm tired of talking about it. Yeah. But like there were people wanting Marcus Freeman to get fired after that NIU loss. Like it was, he can't coach, he's not able to do the big game, great recruiter, nice guy, just can't win. Yeah. And what do we see tonight? Right before we went to the podcast, we just signed an extension, and there's tons of people excited about it. And I've seen people last few weeks, the Bears want him. Ryan Day gets fired, and he's going to be going to Ohio State. Do whatever you can to lock him up. So, which is typical Notre Dame fan base. A lot of opinions all over the place. There's people that want him fired, and there's probably still some people that want him fired from the NIU experience. And there's some people that probably want him fired even if he wins a national championship. Yeah. But there are some people that were freaking out we're going to lose him. So, anyway. I think we have been in this do or die, must win. Like every game's been a big game. Yeah. And I think that plays to our benefit. Yeah. I think like the USC game was huge for us at the end of the season. Yeah. Because when you look about schedule and you look at who IU played and who Notre Dame played. Yep. Both were fairly weak. IU's schedule was technically weaker than Notre Dame's. But when you look at the talent level we played, like
the athletes at
USC, like the game was faster, the trash talking, like all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I think that's where you look at like Ohio State. The first time that Ohio State played IU hadn't seen that kind of talent on the field. Yeah. And that's basically I don't think Ohio State's as good this year as they were last year, despite all the talent they've recruited. Yeah. And that's an Ohio State team we should have beat last year. Yeah. So, the like opponent we got this year with IU is Purdue, and how do you judge that? I mean, we both scored 66. You could argue Notre Dame lit up 7 late. IU didn't do that, but
also IU's starters played the whole game.
Yeah, we didn't have our starting quarterback was setting at halftime. Yeah. IU was trying to go for style points because they needed to make the playoff. Yeah. And I think that's kind of the thing, like I don't know if IU is really battle tested. Now, Cignetti being a good coach, he's going to figure out how to motivate these guys. Yeah. And if you look at his record, whether it's been, lower FCS, he's been a winner. Yeah. But he's always been a winner when he's had he's had an athletic talent advantage. Yep. But he's struggled when he's not been that advantage. He's not Newt Rockneed, and
he's beat the teams he's supposed to beat.
Yes. And he beats them by a lot because it's easy to stay on schedule. Yep. It's easy to stay on schedule when you're doing things well. Yep. And so I think the key for Notre Dame in all of this is going to be the defensive front. Yep. And I think if the defensive front can get pressure on Rourke, all he has to do is like throw one pick. Yeah. If Xavier Watts or Don Schuler or Christian Gray or somebody comes up with that pick,
Yeah.
He's going to be gun shy at that point.
Yeah.
He's going to get a little nervous. And I think for them, they're going to try and stop our run.
Yeah.
And they're going to try and force Riley Leonard to beat us with the throw.
100%.
Now, the great thing about that is they're going to probably put 8-9 guys in the box, and they're going to probably play man coverage.
Yeah.
I think our receivers can get open against their man coverage.
Yeah.
And even if they can't, I think the X factor for us is Riley Leonard's legs.
Yeah.
Like this is Riley Leonard's time to shine and do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
If everybody's covered, tuck and run.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I mean, we've talked about this. Can Riley Leonard go win us a game? Right? Like,
I think he can.
I think we're at that point we're going to find out for sure. Like, we think he can, right? I mean, this is going to be a prime example. We're talking about there's going to be someone stop the run with Love and just Price and everyone of our running backs. And it's like, is he going to be able to get out of the pocket and go make a play? And I think he will be. And I think he's going to make the big throw. But definitely one thing that's like we're talking about receivers, it's like we got to have some outside guy step up, though. Like out wide receiver.
Great House, Collins, Fasan,
somebody. I mean, just because
I would love Jaden Thomas personally, just because he's a guy that's been so good. I mean, he blocks his butt off downfield.
Yeah,
like I'd like to see him make the play. But anyway.
Our receivers are going to be so much better than their corners. Like, is my opinion.
I think so.
Like if they can play to their potential, they should handle these IU corners from everything I've seen. So it's just like they're going to be more athletic, they're going to be more physical. Like, but we need someone to step up because we've struggled with that this year. I mean, we've had slim moments of different guys stepping up. Jaden Thomas. I mean, Faison's had his moments, but just like
now we need a guy or two. And Evans has been coming on.
I mean, we talk about it at the beginning of the year with Bo Collins, who makes that great catch against A&M that helps us with that big drive. Like, big guys got to step up in big moments. And it's big moments. Like, we're here.
Yeah,
like someone's got to go up and. Star's got to be a star, right?
Yeah. I mean, this will be the time to shine. If you're a Notre Dame receiver and you're running out of, especially if you're out of eligibility after this year, you got to make plays. You got to catch that ball.
Yeah.
And you got to put everything you can on tape.
Yeah.
You got to see if you can make that NFL roster, right? I mean, this is it. This is your time, and I think it's interesting to see how we do there. But I think the interesting thing is I fully expect IU to pack the box and take away the run because they're not going to let Price or Love beat them.
Yeah.
They're going to probably try and stop, I imagine maybe even spy Riley Leonard.
Yeah.
But I think in doing that, I think where our advantage is, I think our backs are probably like Love is not a finesse guy or Price. Like they're bruisers. They'll lower shoulder. They'll run you over.
Yeah.
And I think go back to that USC leap. And I think everybody's like, oh, he jumped that dude. And he was like in the air for 12 feet. He was, but when he lands and he takes his next 5 or 6 steps, he trucks that corner.
Yeah.
Like I just wish that he would have stayed in bounds because he trucked that corner. That would have been like highlight forever.
Yeah.
Jump the dude, run over the dude, and then go to the end zone kind of a thing.
And I expect to see a lot of Jeremiah Love maybe in the passing game too this week. If they're going to try to sell on the stopping him on the run, get Price in the backfield on the play action, get the ball to Love on a screen.
But here's the thing. If they've got 8 guys in the box stopping the run, if we get to that second level, I think there's going to be a couple of big 40-plus yard runs.
You can't tell me Price or Love won't break one. You can't convince me.
And I think they're going to be faster than a lot of teams. I don't know that IU has the speed, team speed to keep up with us.
Yeah, they'll have fast guys. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah, there'll be guys that are fast, but team speed to keep up with us. So if you're on the right side of the field and the play goes to the left side of the field, I don't care how fast you are, I mean, you give me a 35, 40-yard head start, and a guy's probably got to run a sub 4.5 to catch me.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on how far we're going.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not fast. So anyway, I think that's going to be kind of interesting, and I've really been back and forth, and I was like super confident, and then I'm like, well, maybe I'm being a little too confident.
Yeah.
And let's really dig into IU. I've looked at IU. I can see a case where this game is going to be close.
Yep.
I don't know how close.
Yeah.
But I can see this game being close, and I can see a scenario where this game's a blowout. The only thing that will shock me in this game
is if IU wins.
If IU wins by more than a score.
Yep.
Like I can see a case and a way that IU wins.
Yep.
But because there's a lot of people that I've seen brackets that experts have made, and people have got Notre Dame losing to Oregon in the final.
Yeah.
And I've got even some people Notre Dame winning and
also some people that have IU beating Notre Dame in the first round.
Yeah. Like it's going to be interesting. So Notre Dame can see those things, but I think Notre Dame can stay focused. So it's going to be. It's just. What do you think is going to happen? I guess.
What I think is going to happen is we talk about Rylander being a difference maker on the offensive side of the ball, and Al Golden being the difference on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
He's going to give these IU kids NFL looks they've never seen before in their life.
That's my expectation.
Is my full expectation. I think USC, it was obviously a disappointment. And if we've seen anything with Al Golden, just when they've struggled, that next game is just like a new animal. And like they're showing film of them. Christian Gary ends up with that interception late in recovers and makes a great play. Just like, but they're talking about, we got burnt. Like, we're going to let these guys burn us too this week?
Yeah.
You're hearing like all these IU's good passing. IU's going to pass all over you guys. I don't think Rourke's going to know what's coming for him. I truly don't. I just think Al Golden, it's going to be an Al Golden masterclass this weekend.
Al Golden doesn't like to give up 300 yards.
No.
And we give up 300 yards to USC.
Yeah.
He is going to be, as Cade would say, let Al cook.
Yeah, no
right?
kid.
He's going to be, yeah. And I think that, that's going to be an interesting animal. They've had time to prepare for IU. IU's got time to prepare for Notre Dame.
Right.
And you can prepare a lot. The question is, there's a lot of people talk about Riley Leonard being fast or not fast.
Yeah.
And I think if you saw the, Here Come the Irish, episode 3, or if you saw the RG3 podcast with him, he talks about, I'm not that fast. People just think I'm just fast when people expect. And I think that's kind of it. Jeremiah Love, is he fast? Yeah. Is he faster than you expect?
Yeah.
Is Price fast? Yeah. Is he faster than you expect? Yeah. And you can't simulate that. I don't know, who IU has that they can simulate some of that speed with.
Yeah.
In the right positions and the right guys. They may have receivers that are that fast.
Yeah.
But do they have corners? Do they have a backup quarterback? Do they have those kind of things? And that'll be the interesting part. So I fully expect both teams to come out just charged up, hyped, ready to go.
I think the first quarter is going to be a stalemate. I'm going to be honest. But
I expect both teams to score on the opening drive.
Yeah. So one thing I found interesting in doing some research on IU, the only game I believe they've had to use the silent count in was against Ohio State, and that they struggled.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be at this game, even if they're not telling us to make noise. 4 quarters, 60 minutes of football, be ready to go. I fully plan on staying the entire game.
Yeah.
I fully plan on losing my voice.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I paid for a seat, but I don't plan on using it.
Right. Like we're ready.
Yeah, and if you're behind me, stand up.
I wouldn't even say I'm sorry because I'm not.
Stand up.
Yeah.
Get loud.
Let's do it.
Yeah, this is it.
Yep.
And this
go home.
This is the great thing about football. It's a sport where you can influence the game with your voice more than any other game.
Oh, yeah.
It is hard to influence most games. You can't do baseball. You can't, soccer. The crowd cannot disrupt the other team the way they can in football.
Yeah.
And you don't have to yell the entire time. But when that team breaks the huddle, or when that team's trying to communicate, get loud.
Yeah.
Get loud. Now, when Notre Dame's got the ball, get quiet.
Rest.
Yeah.
Rest.
Take your time and rest. And hey, once the ball snapped, you don't have to stay loud.
Yeah.
You can rest the vocals,
Yeah.
but ready to come back. When that ball's set and they're getting ready to run the play, they're in the huddle, start ramping it up again.
Exactly.
It's being a smart fan, right?
Yep.
You got to go 60 minutes. You got to pace yourself.
Oh yeah.
That's the game of football. You don't run nonstop.
Yep.
You go for 7 to 10 seconds, you rest for 35.
Yep.
You go for 7 to 10 seconds, you rest for 35.
Yep.
And you go hard for those 7 to 10 seconds.
Yep.
When you go hard.
Yep.
And then enjoy it when you're resting. And when we're on offense, be quiet.
Yep.
Just cheer for the play when it's good.
Yep.
But you don't have to yell.
Exactly.
Let Riley have time to get the signal out, get the play out, make things happen. So what do you think score-wise? How do you see this game coming down?
You talked about this. When we first got this announcement, we're gonna crush them. Then I'm like, man, they were in the playoff for a reason.
Yeah.
So I don't want to seem too bold with it, but generally, what keeps popping in my mind, which I haven't done this in a while, I'm gonna give us a field goal. I saw Mitch Jeter supposed to be rested. I know.
I hope so and healthy.
I hope so. He's supposed to be best he's been feeling all year. Is what I heard in Freeman's press conference. So I'm going to give us a field goal. 38-10 Irish.
38-10.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I know it seems like 28 points. But I just see us we're locked in. Like you said, we've been playing playoff football since week 3.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing new.
Yeah.
And we're Notre Dame and they ain't, right?
Hey, absolutely.
That's all I got to say. All right.
I'm the same. We're going to win by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I'm convinced of that. I am convinced. And I feel like it's going to be 7-7 late in the first quarter.
Yep.
I think Notre Dame gets up 2 scores by half. I think it's 21-7 at half.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we kind of pull away. I think it's 42-7 at the end of the third.
Oh, man.
And then I think IU comes back in the fourth when we're playing Angeli and some secondary, and IU's just trying to play for pride, and I think they will.
Yeah.
And I think they'll score a touchdown late. But
I give up one of those last 20-second touchdowns.
42-14. I really, I'm trying so hard to be like, okay, don't be the homer, don't be the, we're Notre Dame. Like,
yeah.
I legitimately have spent a lot of time listening to podcasts over the last week. Why IU should win, how IU is going to win, like looking at IU film, looking at IU highlights.
Me too. Yep.
I mean, I have tried to figure out like every which way that like I'm being crazy and I'm being this homer.
Yep.
And I admit it, I'm an ultra. Like we could talk about other sports in Notre Dame, and I'm casual to slightly above, on that spectrum. And Notre Dame, I'm an ultra. Like I am all in on Notre Dame football. I consume a lot of information. I worry about recruiting.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about this recruiting class that we just signed on early signing day. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Right now, let's worry about the guys that are on the field playing football.
Yeah.
But I have tried to make sure that I'm not being, and I think we're usually realistic fans. Like we don't, Notre Dame's going to win by 1 million every game. I mean, like I think we're probably a few fans that said, you could give us fits.
Yeah.
So we weren't shocked. We were disappointed, but not shocked when Notre Dame lost to NIU.
Yeah.
I mean, and we called that one. And I've like, okay, am I just being like, is my fandom just taking over here?
We're at the playoffs. We want to win this national championship.
Now I could be wrong. IU could be a much better team than I realize. And I know that any of my IU friends are listening to this are going to be like, Chad, you're freaking crazy. We're awesome.
Yeah.
Sig Signetti is the Bob Knight of football. You don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, well, last year you guys are all rooting for us because your team stunk.
Yeah.
So I know you guys know us, and you guys are, and there's
we're better than we were last year.
Yeah, we're so much better. And man, I don't want to talk about next year, but we're going to be even better next year.
Yep.
I mean, I think we're on a dynasty run, and this is the start of it.
Yep. We've talked about that.
And
it's just like, is this? We've talked about obviously this game's a huge game we don't want to look forward to, but that Georgia game just feels like the start of a potential.
That, and I've been saying it for 2 months now. Georgia's the team that concerns me the most in the playoffs.
Yep.
I don't care if their starting quarterback is out.
Yep.
It's still Georgia defense.
Yep.
But I'm not worried about that because if we don't win Friday, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. So I don't think when you look at the teams IU's beat, you look at the talent IU's played against, and the best talent they played against, they've struggled.
Yeah.
Mightily. And so I think like there's no reason for Notre Dame to not be locked in, to not be focused. They're not gonna look past IU to Georgia.
No.
I mean, they're not.
No.
Al Golden might be starting to look at Georgia and how he's going to cook.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you there's not a player on the Notre Dame team that's a starter.
Yeah.
There may be some third string force.
Yeah.
Tyler Buckner may be thinking about Georgia.
Yeah. And I'm gonna get a good fake punt on them.
How am I going to run scout team? Might be like Tyler Buckner's thinking.
Yeah.
But I don't see us looking past them because of the NIU loss and the way we've kept that in the forefront. And this team's been one game at a time.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is this team, they were tight at the start of the A&M game.
Yeah.
And Freeman showed that personality. He got them fired up.
Yeah.
And every game's been big and they know it, but they've played big and they've played loose.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Like they know importance of this game. And I think IU knows the importance of this game. And IU's going to play tight. And I think Notre Dame's going to play loose, but with urgency. And that's how I see it. So, hey, I get it. You're an IU fan. You listen to this pod because you know us.
Yeah.
At your boy. Tell me how I'm wrong. It's okay.
Yeah.
And if IU finds a way to win,
props to them.
Hey, congratulations.
Yep.
Google Signetti, right?
Yep.
I mean, give that guy the contract extension, get the boosters to start throwing money at him because he's going to make you a powerhouse.
Yep.
But I just don't see it. I think they come crash into reality. I think they're going to say, whoa. And Undaunted is the hashtag IU. Undaunted.
Yeah.
I've already seen people posting on social, oh, the referee's going to call the game. It's like, sounds like you're daunted to me. You're already making excuses why you lost.
I've seen some of that too.
Hey, I've been watching Notre Dame all year.
Yeah.
And I just hope we don't have ACC refs.
And that's what I was about to bring up. I haven't seen who's actually officiating the game.
I haven't either.
I don't know what crew it is.
Please don't give us ACC refs. Anybody but you'd expect the CFPs hiring the best of the best.
I assume we'd get some SEC refs since we're not an SEC team. I mean, I'm just trying to think through
they just don't be
usually a conference that's not part of the game.
Yeah. That way there's no quote unquote bias.
Yeah.
So I mean it's not to be a big I wouldn't think ACC, I wouldn't think Big Ten. So maybe SEC, Mountain West.
Big 12, yeah.
I'll take a Pac-12 referee crew right now over freaking an ACC crew.
Yeah.
The ACC and they're bad both ways. 2 and 4 and against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They're just bad.
Yep.
And no one's perfect, but man, I've seen some bad calls this year. So I'm feeling it, man. And maybe it's just the excitement. Maybe it's just,
that could be part of it.
I don't care if my heart gets hurt. I got a whole off season to get over it.
Yeah.
And I will. I've got plenty of reasons to get over this loss if it happens.
Yeah.
Because, we can talk about the other sports. I'm still big on Notre Dame men's basketball. I don't know we're going to win a national championship this year, but I think Coach Shrews has got things going the right way.
Yeah.
I very much think Coach Ivy on the ladies' side, that team is rocking. And if you have not watched Notre Dame women basketball, do yourself a favor. I think they got 3 wins over top 10 teams now.
Yeah,
and
I believe so.
They beat their nemesis UConn the other night, and it was a beautiful game. Like the women's team is talented as all get out.
Yeah,
they are
unselfish.
That ball. I mean, if you're an Indiana person, if you live in the state of Indiana and you like motion offense and you like unselfish play, watch the women. Just make an appointment to watch the women's team. Go get your ticket. Well, if you can get a ticket, I think their games are selling out.
Yeah, I mean they put up 120 today.
Yeah,
in a college basketball game.
Yeah, and this is not they've done that 5 or 6 times this year.
Yeah,
and they move the ball, they hit shots, they play defense. I mean, they play both ends of the court. It's a beautiful thing to watch. And man, they got 2 of the best guards in all of women's basketball right now, and they're on the same team.
Yep. And
it was can they make it work? Oh yeah, they make it work.
Yeah.
Don't
think there's a debate about it now, huh?
Yeah, there's how? How? And so yeah, and hockey's doing well. So there's other things I can get past. This will hurt me, but by the first of the year, I'll shut off college football. I won't. I'll be watching. The whole college football playoff is going to be interesting. And I think the great thing about us having the Friday night game,
we can watch Saturday, right?
I got 3 games on Saturday I can queue up.
Yep.
And I am so excited to watch those games. I'm Penn State, SMU. I'm only kind of excited because I think there's a chance SMU could knock off Penn State.
Yeah.
And that will be interesting. I think the Ohio State-Tennessee game, that's just going to be a good game.
Flip the coin, right?
That's just
Tennessee takeover at Ohio State at the shoe.
That's the rumor.
I mean, if you haven't been following any of this stuff we're big on X, and that's just one that I like to scroll. I like to get all the information on it.
Yeah.
Sounds like, it'll be interesting to see how much that turns out. But what's the shoe hold? 101, 103, something like that?
100 and something.
So if you haven't seen the story,
I think it's 108.
Yeah, it's 100 something. Basically, Ohio State uses Ticketmaster to distribute their tickets.
Yeah.
If you've used Ticketmaster in the past, there's a pre-sale and there's a code for it. Well, I guess some Tennessee fans figured out the Ohio State.
Heard it, found it, figured it out.
Ohio State.
It was OSU CFB, right?
No, OSU FB.
FB.
Ohio State University Football. It was and just OSU FB. It was could have made that one a little more difficult. It'll be interesting because Tennessee fans are taking over LSU before, and LSU is known for this great atmosphere. It's just
it's not that far from Tennessee, does it?
No. We're talking about 3 hours, but it's within, 8, 6, 8?
And they've got tons of warm weather gear. That's their hunting gear is all
oh,
that.
Yeah.
Tennessee orange is Hunter's orange.
And Tennessee is, it's not I don't want to say it's a cold weather state, but it's not
They get cool.
Yeah, I'm saying
I've been down there in the snow.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but it's not
now,
like it's going to be uncomfortable.
When it snows, they close the grocery store.
Yeah.
But it does snow.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's not going to be crazy uncomfortable. It's not going to be ideal for them. They wouldn't. I don't think they'd choose to come.
No.
Like, if it wasn't for a football game, right? But, like, yeah, that'll be interesting to me how much Tennessee fans show up at Ohio State Stadium, especially after Ohio State fans are happy after losing to Michigan.
Oh, yeah. And if Tennessee fans show out in Ohio State Stadium and Ohio State loses that game, like that seat for Ryan Day is going to be real hot, real fast.
After the AD came out the other day and said he's fine no matter what.
Yeah, see, that's always a kiss of death. Whenever an AD or general manager says, "Oh, we love our coach,"
he's fine no matter what, win or lose, we got his back. Then they lose by 49 points, and
till that booster that helped you write that $20 million NIL checks comes along.
Adios.
Yeah, I'm not so excited about that. So,
and then that Penn State SMU game, I don't think that one's even sold out yet.
Yeah.
And there's another interesting storyline with that one. Like, Penn State apparently has ticket problems with their student tickets and, like, sends back half their student tickets. And students are like, oh, I applied for them and
didn't get them.
And so it's like, oh, my goodness. So they apparently sent back half their student section. And Happy Valley is not, what I've heard, is not an easy place to get to.
Yeah.
Like, especially in the wintertime with storms and stuff. So it's like.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
How crazy would that be if it's just a completely empty, like not empty, it won't be empty, but
it's 80% full. 90%
yeah,
full.
I mean, not sold out would be nuts.
Yeah, I mean that will be crazy.
Yeah, so.
And I mean that's one of those that's the
noon
game on TNT.
Yeah,
it's not. That's the game I'm only interested because I think one, the crowd situation will be interesting, and two, I think SMU. I want to see how good SMU really is.
Yeah.
I am not sold Penn State's as good as people think they are.
Yeah.
So I think SMU is probably undervalued, and I think Penn State's overvalued. So I want to just see how right or wrong I am on that one.
Yeah.
And the Ohio State Tennessee game, that's just going to be such a freaking barn burner.
Yeah, and that Clemson Texas game will be interesting too, I think.
Oh yeah, that'll be another good game. And Dabo knows how to win big games. And I don't know that Texas is really battle tested at this point.
Yeah.
And so I think that'll be an interesting game as well. But yeah, I mean, the whole rumor of Tennessee fans getting a bunch of pre-sale tickets early. And yeah, I mean, Notre Dame, as much as we talk about Notre Dame tickets, they do some things they don't do things as well as I think they could.
Yeah.
But they do things well.
They started to do stuff better, so we're not having these takeovers.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have that against Ohio State last year.
Yeah. And they have the whole lottery system, and it's hard to get tickets. And, I mean, they did this whole thing. And, like, so, they're preventing those things happening. And I think there's some opportunities for them, but we'll see. We'll see. And, so I think Saturday is going to just be, again, if we lose on Friday, I'm going to probably be a lot less.
Saturday won't be as exciting.
I'll be a lot less active watcher.
Yeah. Because
I'll just be so frustrated, and the last thing I want to hear is every time a halftime show comes on, they talk about Notre Dame getting beat by IU.
Exactly.
Like that literally will make me turn it off.
Yeah.
Like I got a couple projects lined up for next weekend.
Yeah.
And I may or may not work. If Notre Dame wins, I won't get any of those done on Saturday.
Yep.
Christy, I'm sorry.
Yep.
But if Notre Dame wins or loses, I'll probably get all kinds of things done around the house.
True that.
Because I'll probably be a lot less. I'll just watch the ESPN, keep a track of the score, but I'll be doing other things.
Yeah.
So I've got plans either way.
Yep.
But I'm planning on watching some television.
Yep.
I'm planning on seeing some games on Saturday because I really do feel like where the Irish are at, like it's. Again, I've tried really hard to say, oh, don't be overconfident, don't be overconfident. But I think this game is going to play out in such a way that like IU is going to be shell shocked a little bit, and I think we're going to get them off schedule, and it is going to be a good learning experience for those kids.
Yep.
Unfortunately, a lot of those kids are not going to be there next year because they're out of eligibility.
Yep.
We'll see what kind of class Signity can get through recruiting, portal, what have you. But I mean, I think Notre Dame's locked and loaded for this one.
Yeah, I'm ready.
And we haven't even talked about the potential alternate uniform thing yet.
Yeah, you want to get in that real quick before we get out of here?
We'll take a couple minutes on that one because I think that's interesting for people to talk about.
Yeah, so as we're sitting here Sunday night talking about this, I've seen a lot on X, Insta, IU posting their jerseys for this weekend, getting their patch on there. I've seen Ohio State. I think I saw Texas, maybe Clemson. I don't remember which one.
Everybody except the Irish.
It seems like everyone but Notre Dame's been posting what the Reds are going to be wearing this weekend. Makes you wonder.
And on X, Under Armour posted something about here come the Irish.
Yeah.
Black background, green letters, gold outline.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people thinking we're going to have black jerseys.
Yeah.
I don't think it's black.
No, I don't think so either.
I'm pretty convinced we're going to have the navy blues.
Yep.
But I think green letters, gold trim.
Yeah.
And I think you brought it up.
Yeah.
Maybe the green pants.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think we've seen those this year. So how sweet would it be with those green
letters on the navy blue jerseys with the green pants to match, and then gold trim.
Yeah.
And then the gold Indy on the pants. Like, it could be popping. Like, that could be popping, and the gold helmet shining in the white snow.
Yeah.
Like, it could be popping.
I think we're going to be very, I don't want to say we're going to be traditional, because traditional makes you think that it's going to be just the normal blues, but I think it'll be a traditional look with a little flair to it.
Yeah. Just not trying to go crazy ridiculous.
Nope.
Just a little accent, if you will.
So you think we don't talk about this at all, I don't think. Names on the back?
I think you have to. It's bowl tradition.
So. Yeah.
And I think it's good.
You think we're at that point for bowl tradition?
I think for college football playoffs, like bowl games, we put names on the back. Yeah. Why not do it for the playoffs?
Okay. So, I mean, if we commit to names on the back, it's for the rest of the run then, right?
It's till we're done, yeah.
Yeah, I think that
because this is your postseason, right?
Yep.
You may have one game, you may have four.
Yep.
So why not give those kids a little bit of notoriety? I mean, Coach Freeman talks about team glory and individual accolades come from that. It just seems like the right thing to do is put names on the back for the playoffs.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
I'm all for it.
Yep.
I know some people are, and I'm not so traditional. I'm okay with alternate uniforms if they go black. And I know people are concerned about black because the way they read that Twitter post and on the X, and I know they launched the video where they had like the really sweet like hoodie and it was all black with like God Country Notre Dame on the front.
Yeah,
and like,
I couldn't tell if it was black or dark blue. It was tough.
It looked black, but I think the navy blue is the way they're going.
Yeah,
I really do.
And if you did see that video, the unboxing video, how much gold stuff was in that, gold sunglasses, the all gold shoes. It's like they're going to at least come out with. I mean, what was it, the Cotton Bowl a few years ago? We had like the metallic gold numbers or not just the outline of the numbers.
Yeah,
there's going to be something that's.
Yeah, I mean, I just know that they saw the metallic gold I-365 logo, and they said, "We want part of it."
They got it going, huh?
We want to be a part of that.
They got it going.
And hey, good for them.
Yeah,
it does pop. So, although I will say this doesn't do well through the TSA screening. You don't have the gold metallic. It'll get you a pat down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the uniforms will be interesting. And I could care less. And this is the thing, right? At this point, it's just survive in advance.
Yeah.
I don't need style points. I don't need anything else. I just need one more point than the opposing team has got for 4 more games.
Yep.
That's all I need.
Yep.
And right now I'm hoping we can come back on this time next week and talk about this game and how it went, and we can start talking about what we're going to have to do for Christmas.
Yep.
And beating Georgia.
Yep.
And that's not easy.
Yep.
Christmas is easy.
Yep.
Beating Georgia is not.
Yep.
But we got to get through IU, and I mean, again, I think IU's going to come. They're going to come hard. I just think that they're going to have 5 to 10 scripted plays to start the game. They're going to work.
Yep.
And then we're going to crush their confidence come second drive, and I think it's going to just snowball.
Yep.
No pun intended.
I agree.
All right. Anything else you want to cover on this one?
I think that's it. I mean, I'm just pumped for this game. If you're going to be there, be loud. Yeah. Go Irish. Like, let's just go.
Hit us on social.
Yep.
Get on those contests.
Yep. Get on them.
Someone put your bracket in.
You're going to win it.
Everybody put a bracket in because someone's getting Sam Hartman's jersey. Why not you?
Yep, exactly.
All right? And don't get scammed. Unless you're an IU fan, then that's your own fault.
Yep.
Can't fix that.
True that.
All right.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Irish 365 podcast.
You can find us wherever you get your podcast.
We are on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook.
Just search for Irish 365 Pod.
And you can always reach us at our email, irish365pod@gmail.com.
Good night.
And God bless.